Pause. Well, not pause. To rewind it just a tiny bit right here. I was typing a pro for Raw for having the King. His voice is familiar. Anybody who has been a long-time wrestling fan makes me all warm inside, so I was going to give them a pro. And then I looked back at the TV and I noticed this. This is going to be a sin because anytime an article of clothing draws the eye off of Roman Reigns, that's a sin. And this jacket right here is, it's distracting. See, Roman's rubbing himself and I missed it. Damn that jacket, sin. Okay, here's another sin from last week, but just why does blue hair make Sasha Banks evil? Dolph's being the bigger man. Um, I'm sure you guys have all heard the rumors too. Dolph is always trying to be the bigger man. Okay, that's a sin on me for taking the low road. Moving on. There's that trying to be the bigger man thing again. Bad Chris! But you know what? I'm going to give him a pro for the execution of that kick. That was impressive. To be standing that close and still hit it that fast. Alright, I'm a generous guy. So, I'm going to send what happens right here on behalf of Brittany. This isn't a sin for me, but she thinks that this is a very serious sin. And the problem here is Brittany is not the one touching Roman right now. You're welcome. I'm a generous guy. You're a jerk. Dolph is a former champion, and I've been telling WWE to do something special with Dolph for years. Apparently, they decided that what I meant, it's like that telephone game we played back in kindergarten, the message got a little garbled, and they thought I was saying to make Dolph look special. Right here, I'm going to add 36 cents, and I'll explain why. The reason we're adding 36 cents, that was a close fall. Roman timed it perfectly. Some wrestlers do not. Once a month, there is a referee who has to stop their hand before the wrestler gets a shoulder up. Since it's a 3 count, we're taking 12 months in a year, multiplying that by the 3 for a 3 count, and hopefully I don't have to talk about this sin until next August. Moving on. Another sin. This one is not here. It's this sign right here. I'll read it aloud. This says, just effing missing her. Dude, you're at a live WWE event. Ha! Pacifist. Bad King jokes. That's a pro. Got another one right here. Dolph, that's the referee's job. Get back to work. Alright, moving on. King of the Ring tournament being back, that's an automatic pro. That is what the 24/7 title looks like. And they're making me look at it. 24/7 championship first. First champion, Titus O'Neil. First female, Kelly Kelly. First two-time, R-Truth. First co-champions, Revival. First Hall of Fame, Pat Patterson. First pregnant champion, Maria Kanellis. You know what? Entertaining reading. I'll give you that one. As I said, the King of the Ring tournament being back is a pro. I'm going to send both shows from here until the end of the tournament every time they have an appearance by a former King of the Ring winner.
Why?
Brittany just asked me why the appearance of former King of the Ring winners is going to be a con every time. There's two reasons. Number one, WWE keeps banking on nostalgia. Fans like me who have watched since, I don't know, I was born in 84 and I watched as a kid, so over 30 years. Like, I've been a fan for longer than the fucking Undertaker has been there. And WWE keeps banking on that nostalgia. Look at the appearance of this person you remember who did all these great things. And the reason this bothers me, Brittany, is the most important thing. The most important thing that you can do in your WWE career changes depending on what event is coming up. We're doing King of the Ring. Look at how King of the Ring can catapult your career to new levels. If it were January, we'd be talking about how much Royal Rumble can catapult your career to new levels. We'd be talking about how performing at WrestleMania can catapult your career to new levels if it was April. So the fact that what is most important for you to do is never the same is a con. And I mean that in both senses of the word. It's a con for me, and it's a con by them. They are lying to us to make whatever is happening at the time the most important thing that you can do in your career. That is the second reason that every appearance by a former King of the Ring winner will count as a con. After my little rant, moving on. Yes, Seth, even while she's getting hit by a chair, I'm eyeballing your girl, so I guess I should sim myself. Again. If nothing else, at least I hold myself accountable just as much as I do all of that.
Last week, Sasha Banks beat me stupid with a chair. And all everybody...
Quiet over there. She's talking. We're going to pause and we're going to look up what whinging is about. Because that's a thing in Harry Potter that I never really thought about. Like, what is the meaning of that? Okay. Makes sense. Whinging. To complain persistently and in a peevish or irritating way.
Hey!
Kidding!
Chris!
What? See? Told you. She's doing it right now. That is whinging. If y'all needed an example. Moving on. You know what? I'm going to give Raw another pro. The reason for that is that was recorded earlier in the day. And there were a couple of slips by Becky in there. Now, we all know we screw up talking, so I'm not going to hold that against her. The reason I'm going to count it as a pro for Raw is because her slipping up like that actually makes that interview more believable about how angry she is about the attack by Sasha. They could have fixed it, they chose not to, and it comes across as more genuine. Moving on.
Hey, Minneapolis' own, the Beast, Brock Lesnar was king of the ring.
He was?
And what it's all about.
For those who don't know, if it exists in wrestling, Brock Lesnar has done it because of WWE's Brock Bonner.
And from the SmackDown side,
No.
oh no, oh no. I've seen this before. I gotta get out of there, King.
A pro for King. Smart enough to run away. Okay, so for those who don't watch wrestling, there is a persona known as the Fiend. Those noises, the blackness, indicate an imminent attack by the Fiend. Jerry Lawler heard the sound and decided he's getting the hell out of there. So, pro for him being smart about not staying in the ring. On the flip side of this, you're getting a con at the same time. Jerry Lawler is an announcer, and a retired one at that. He's a wrestler, but a retired one. And while the Fiend is about terrorizing people, it's not sending any kind of message that does him any good. He's like the 8 billionth person to beat up a legend. They have stopped listing all of Baron Corbin's former accolades, everything he used to do. A former Golden Glove champion, a former Mr. Money in the Bank. It was actually about the only thing that was keeping him interesting. And I'm going to count it against him. Because I want to hear about how he was a former grande latte drinker at Starbucks, but he switched to Red Bull and it gave him wings. I want to hear all about Baron Corbin's life every time he comes to the ring. You know what? For matches that involve more than one person, I am going to give each match an MVP. Actually, I might do that for all of them, because sometimes the winner of a singles match is not the one with the best performance. If you have a match where nobody really stands out, then I'll point that out by making the MVP that guy in the 1100th Raw. That'll be my match MVP for any match that is average or worse on both parts. I don't want to make it the ref. I want to make it that guy up in the 1100th Raw. We'll call him Scott. And Scott was our MVP for the Roman Reigns Dolph Ziggler match. Now, MVP is going to be about two things. How interesting are they to watch? How fun? Ricochet is going to take that every time. It's also about how well do they execute. Okay. I'm going to do one pro for the outcome of this match. Ricochet is less established than the other three guys in this. So his team winning is definitely an overall push for his career and not just momentum toward the King of the Ring tournament. It is also momentum going into the tournament, but overall, every win Ricochet gets is a good thing. Now, he is going to take MVP for this match also. Anytime Ricochet is in the ring, you have got to keep your eyes on him because you never know what's coming next. You don't want to give him 100 points because of his wrestling skill. He's pretty. She wants a touch.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest at this time. He is a Hall of Famer, Booker T.
Booker T is a former King of the Ring winner. Get these hands.
Let's go back to talk about how this all began. Just 1 week ago,
It is so difficult to get Strowman off his feet. I don't think that was executed properly, and I'm going to give that a con. Because that looked like AJ could have been bumped on his head if his legs hadn't hit Braun's head. Now back to my problem with Braun Strowman. It takes so much to cause damage to Strowman that matches have to end like this. In a normal singles match, Braun Strowman is unbeatable. So why isn't he champion? I don't know why she's trying to sound surprised. Cesaro can swing bigger guys. We've seen it happen. So,
it can change the path that your career is on. Once you win King of the Ring, everything is in your future.
Of course, he can't do it from the front row. I want to know if that throne is plastic. That throne looks plastic. And I'd be very upset if I got a plastic throne after going through the tournament. Yeah, the plastic throne. You know what? I'm going to assume it's plastic, and I'm going to send him for that. Going to... Oh! But he really didn't. Cesaro didn't really pick up speed on that run. And he's winded. More winded than I think I've ever seen him. Oh, hell yeah. Cesaro is not at the top of his game. That was 3 spins and he got Joe off the ground once. Alright, that was more like the Cesaro I'm used to seeing. That has Cesaro not been training as hard as he used to? Or was it a lack of effort? Yeah, Joe takes MVP for that.
Wednesday later on tonight, but
Easily.
Samoa Joe.
My issues with Charlotte are not with Charlotte. I saw Charlotte perform live, and it wasn't a televised show. She was in the ring talking, and she had her best moment on the mic I've ever seen during this live show I was at. It was funny as hell. It was leading up to a pay-per-view with a match between her and Becky. So Charlotte's in the ring and she's talking. We're all chanting, Becky, Becky, Becky. And Charlotte goes, who do you guys want to see? Becky, Becky, Becky. And she said something like, who are you chanting for? Becky, Becky, Becky. And then she goes, who's going to bow down to the queen tonight? I heard this. I shut up immediately. Everybody else is still screaming, Becky, Becky, Becky. And Charlotte goes, that's right. It's like, oh, that was impressive. I enjoyed watching that. But WWE has kind of turned her into a female John Cena. The issue I have with this is that Charlotte can be gone for months on end, while Becky is destroying the women's division on her way to getting a title shot. Charlotte shows up once and goes, I want to be in the fight. Oh, really? Okay. That bothered me. And I know it's not Charlotte's fault. I hold it against WWE. But somebody has to be accountable for stuff like that. And it's not going to be me. I don't make the choices. I just criticize you for making them. RKO out of nowhere.
We'll clear for a little payback and flow. Wait a minute. RKO with an assist from the Revival.
Okay, that was fun to watch.
Please welcome my guest at
Here
this time,
is
the boss,
official
Sasha
proof
Banks.
that at some point a bubblehead and a troll doll had a baby.
For joining us.
It's all over social media. Sasha Banks, blue hair.
Sasha, with all due respect, no one is talking about your blue hair.
That's wrong. I'm talking about her blue hair. And if you call me a nobody again, Michael Cole, I'm going to come smack you in your dumb head.
Your attack on the woman you grew up with in this business, Becky Lynch.
Oh, that's right. She beat up Becky. I'm so focused on the blue hair. She beat up Becky and Natalia. Don't forget.
You're welcome. For what? For gracing us with your presence? Oh my god. A few words, I guess we're gonna find
Fire from SmackDown next.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me point out what is happening right now. Right now we have the team of Fire and Desire. These ones right here. That's Sonya Deville and Alexa Bliss Jr. And they're about to be taking on the women's tag team champions, Alexa Bliss and Sonya Deville Jr. So, the only thing I have to say at this point is thank God Corey Graves is on vacation this week. Otherwise, during this match, he'd be doing 180 so hard and so often that it would make the original Exorcist look tame, and his head would explode.
Distraction. Wait a minute. Nikki Cross with that cross neck breaker. floats into the cover, and Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss victorious.
So Raw is going to get a pro for Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss picking up the win there. The reason for that is with the Iconics literally ducking competition the entire time that they were the women's tag team champions, the championship really needs someone to fight and beat every team that comes up against them. MVP for that match is going to go to Mandy Rose, aka Alexa Bliss Jr. Her and Sonya were dominating the match. I do want to point out at one point, Alexa Bliss slapped Mandy Rose and my mirror broke. But now that the battle of the evil robot clones is over, let's find out what's going on with Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins as they prepare for their match.
Anybody that knows me knows I'm a man of very few words. But I am a man of action. And tonight I'm competing in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament against Sami Zayn. And I fully intend to make the most of this opportunity and take the Age of Alexander and raise it to all.
I'm going to send that too, and let me sum it up for you why. I am a man of very few words. The age of King Alexander. Moving on.
I just called Alexander. Hook up and look for the lumbar check
It's over.
to punch his ticket to the second round. It's Patrick Alex.
Another pro. This is definitely what should have happened as far as the tournament goes. With the push that they are trying to give guys like Alexander and Buddy Murphy, having that happen and then having them lose in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament would totally negate what you've been trying to do for them lately. So, this is definitely the right win.
Keep talking, Natalia, huh?
Yeah. Ow!
Go to hell, Natty. And tell your daddy I said hi.
Security, there's an out-of-control hooker backstage. He did bounce back. All the way over by the ring. Right off the barricade back to the ring. Please, use your eyes. He bounced a couple times.
Champion Seth Rollins over the barricade, ripped first a couple of times.
We have officially entered the Bad Ribs bonus round. Every time I hear about Seth Rollins' Bad Ribs from now on, it's going to be a sin.
That's what Seth Rollins does. You put him in a bad spot, he finds a way to fight out.
Yeah, but he's hurt. Seth is hurting bad. Bad Ribs can't breathe. Land of the small of your back. Ribs again. Shuts the door. And you notice when Luke came in, he went right for the tape ribs. The initial impact to stop Seth from getting to the corner was to go to the injured ribs. Then Rollins right into Gallows. Seth kicks out again.
Now we're also going to send the fact that Luke Gallows, when Seth executes the suicide dive, Gallows just blocks it, but acts like it hurt.
Taking care of Anderson. Power slam center of the ring. Curse up to AJ Styles. Titles are on the line. Titles are on the line. We have news.
This kind of gives Seth a way to go. Well, hold off on the Universal title, Braun. The match itself was good, so we are going to do 2 for the pro column.
And Strowman will let it soak in tonight.
And these two can be absolutely unstoppable as tag team champions here on Monday Night Raw.
An incredible moment here tonight